still says scheduled.
There. Cool.
Hey, everybody. Welcome into PMA Sessions for 9/30. 9/30/2020. I can't believe September is over. The obvious punk rock joke is somebody go kick Billy Joe Armstrong out of bed. That happens every time, almost like the Backstreet Boys meme on the "It's Got to Be Me" or something, or May, or
it's got to be May. You need to be more up on your Justin Timberlake knowledge.
I didn't understand that one at all, and my amazing wife, who loves NSYNC back in the day, and hey, I'll admit, I think Justin Timberlake is actually a Renaissance man. I think the guy has done a lot of things, and believe it or not, being a Tennessean myself, I've seen him do a lot of good in the state for underprivileged, and believe it or not, the guy owns a golf course, and he gets young kids to come play for free, and like the inner city kids outside of Memphis. It's unbelievable. So
that's very cool.
So kind of weird to talk about Justin Timberlake, but hey, that's what we do. And right off the bat, we have about 20 people watching. That's a heck of a start. Let me introduce everybody. As usual, my awesome co-host beside me, Miss Mackenzie Waters, and Walters. Waters. I do it every time. Walters.
I just chalk it up to your accent.
Yep, it's fine. What accent? No, I'm just kidding. And then, how's everything in New Mexico this week?
Things are things. Yeah. It's been a rough week. I lost another friend 2 days ago, which sucks. But just trying to stay positive. Just working and being here.
Well, I'm
grateful for having a forced day off to do this.
There you go. Before I introduce Tyson Chicken over there, I am going to bring in a quick one in case we lose him again. Ladies and gentlemen, our buddy, our inspiration, Rich from Hogs and Heifers, who's been recovering from losing his leg in that accident. Hogs and Heifers got to reopen today, and he's here. Let me bring him in real quick. Let's see if he's there. We might have lost him again. He's having connection issues out there. Rich, are you there?
Come on, work.
Come on, work.
Work.
It's not a PMA session if we don't have technical issues.
That's very, very true.
The only tradition we have.
Come on, bullshit.
Try another way, Rich. I'm going to bring you out. I'll bring you back in when I see you.
Wait, there he is.
Oh,
no.
Total
anarchy this is.
Well,
total anarchy.
It's really, really a pleasure to bring our third member there tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, from Dead to Me, Mr. Chicken himself. How you doing, Ty?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Mackenzie set this all up. I'm going to be completely honest. Somewhere in my punk lexicon, I missed you guys, and I got a little.
Just kidding.
Okay. Well, I got a little.
I will go to LA and murder you.
It's okay. I got a little spanking from Nathan Maxwell last weekend when I told him that you guys were going to be on, and he was really afraid. He was really, as me and him talk so much punk rock all the time, that he was completely blown away that I had missed Dead to Me, and
I was too. I actually cussed you out at my phone, but you couldn't hear it because we were texting, and I was like, "How the fuck?"
Yeah.
Sorry. How the F do you not?
I think you must be. My mom missed our band too, man. You're not the only one. There's a lot of people that don't get it.
There's a generational thing, and sometimes I forget that Rob has some wisdom above us.
The gray gives it away.
Yeah. But there's I'm gonna make Rob a mixtape of all the things that I think he missed.
Well,
because if he missed you guys.
I did throw him in. I just some knowledge as we dropped. I told the big company goodbye. I quit.
Yes.
I quit the big company this week because it was deterring from building Punk Rock Saves Lives and having a livable life, and it was dragging me down bad, and so I told them goodbye. But I drive some DoorDash and deliver some food and stuff, and I did throw it on on my cell phone through the system, so I've been listening to Dead to Me all week, and
Oh, cool.
it's really cool stuff. Hopefully, you'll get that 10th of a penny from me listening all week. But
Yeah, doubt it.
yeah, I just tend to stream. But how's things out there? You're in LA, if I'm not mistaken, is it?
Boyle Heights, Los Angeles. Fuck me, man.
I understand you are a big baseball fan, so
Yeah, the Padres are in the playoffs for the first time in forever, and they're blowing it right now. Yeah, I'm in Boyle Heights, Los Angeles. Things are going really good here. It's hot. It's probably not New Mexico hot, but it's hot for our standards out here. But things are going really well, man. Thanks.
Sorry to throw a Pittsburgh Pirates cup in your face, but
no, that's cool. I like that team.
well, my wife is from the Pittsburgh area. I'm in Atlanta. I grew up in Atlanta and Savannah. I've been a Braves fan since I could walk.
That's winning teams. You're lucky. That's awesome.
No. When I was a kid, they were the worst team in the league. Like,
okay.
You could go down and get into the stadium at 5 minutes before the game for $5.
Oh,
and so yeah, I was there when they got good. That was fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm hoping that's what's gonna happen with the Padres. We'll see.
As a Cardinals fan, I'm gonna let you two plebes duke it out. So.
Well, Rich is trying to come back in. Let's try again real quick. Hey, Rich.
All right, guys. I ducked inside into the back where it's a little bit louder, but I was trying to be out front so I could, you guys can hear me and I could hear you, but it's not actually that bad back here right now.
Look at that. So if you missed what I was talking about, Rich, we've been talking about him a lot in all the streams about losing his leg and the positivity and the learning experience he's made and used us through. It's been incredible. We've had some great talks just between he and I, and he's embracing the full PMA and it's okay to tell your male friends you love them and everything that we've been building on. So I wanted to bring him on for a few minutes as we celebrate Hogs reopening. How's the crowd? Are there people coming out?
It's actually the crowd's pretty good right now. Our capacity is only like 90-something people. So we're actually having to stop people at the front door and tell them we're at capacity, which is something that the 13 years that I've worked here, I've never heard at Hogs.
Very cool.
So we're not. We have the bartenders are serving people at their tables now. People can't go up to the bar and order drinks, and we only have tables available, 4 people per table.
Right.
So
it is what it is.
It's a start. It's a start.
Can they still dance on the bar though?
They haven't yet. I don't know if she's going to do that right now.
That's fair.
As far as bartenders, customer-wise, I'm not sure. So, but yeah, I've been out front most of the time. But we just opened the doors at 4:00, and it happens to be. You and Nathan said it the other night. It's the 15th anniversary of Las Vegas Hogs and Heifers. So we've got anniversary shirts that were made up by Living Dirty for us. And this would normally be the kickoff for Bike Week. But we're not doing any of that this year. So.
Well, at least a minor piece of normality is starting to return. We know those sounds.
It's not normal anymore.
Yeah,
I'm putting my phone up to my ear so I can hear what you're saying.
It's
nothing's normal anymore.
Yeah, nothing's normal anymore. But we're glad you're still around. We're glad Hogs is getting a little chance to open, and we can't wait to hang with you. Because of the loudness, I'm gonna wave you out, and But thanks, Rich, and we're gonna get you on a full coming up one where we can all sit down and talk about your recovery and all of that. We love you, man.
All right, see you guys.
Keep it up, man.
On that note, I'd like to make a promise to our viewers that someday we will have Dead to Me playing at Hogs for our special charity shows during Punk Rock Bowling, and I will once again jump off the bar top.
Yes.
But sober.
So please
was
catch before you went sober. That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I did that. I jumped off the stage sober, but not the bar top.
There you go.
So we'll see. We will see.
Well, let's dig into what we've been talking about pretty much the whole month. We've gone through some flicks and some different things, and bringing in Daryl to start the month. Daryl Wilson of the Bow Weevils came in and talked, and it was
cool.
What an inspiration! That to me, that's top tier, man. It was incredible.
Yeah.
But we've really been trying to focus this month on suicide awareness, because it was Suicide Awareness Month.
Still is. One more day.
One more day. But I think suicide awareness is year round, but it is always good to over focus. And Mackenzie was telling me, Chicken, that you had some stories and some troubles that you've seen, and we love to hear stories and be open and honest and all of that. So feel free to talk about anything you want. Our whole goal is to destigmatize what's going on and to offer the people that are watching uplifting and ways to cope and handle things and all sorts of great stuff. So
yeah, sure. I think it's super important, even like what you guys are doing, the normalization of like talking about this kind of stuff is super important, because it is so stigmatized, and it is a hard one, especially with depression and specifically suicide, because most of my struggles have been with substance abuse, and there's a lot of information out there and like outlets and resources and stuff for people to get treatment. There's free treatment in pretty much every community in the United States. There's a AA meeting somewhere, there's free help pretty much anywhere in America, and there's treatment centers and hospitals and stuff. But when it comes to like severe depression and suicidal ideation, it gets a lot harder, because as you guys know, like if you tell a mental health professional that you're feeling suicidal legally, at least in California, legally, they're supposed to put you on a 72-hour hold. And so that puts both the medical professional and the person feeling those things in a tough bind, really. I mean, I want to tell this. It'd be like if you like hurt your arm, but you didn't want to go tell the doctor because you knew that like they were just going to put you in the hospital for 3 days automatically. Like, that's kind of fucked. I mean, I get it, but it's a hard one. And it's also like, for me, one of the biggest things that helped me with my substance abuse struggles was being able to talk to people about it, was like community, and being able to talk to other people that have like a similar situation. And it was so empowering, and it actually like took a lot of power out of the of what addiction had over me, because I realized it was a thing that a lot of other people were going through, and that I wasn't crazy, and that I wasn't weak, and blah, blah, blah. And with suicidal ideation, it's kind of harder, man. Like if you tell your friend you want to kill yourself, like it gets crunchy fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And actually, speaking of that, in New Mexico, it's like a 24-hour hold. I had to do that once when I was incarcerated, and the lowest I've ever felt and the most I've ever wanted to kill myself was during that hold. If people ask, hey, how are you feeling? Are these feelings that you've had? And then I come in and I'm like, oh, I'm honest and I'm strong emotionally, and I'm like willing to talk about how I'm feeling because I know it's important. All of a sudden you say yes, and like, okay, cool, we're going to throw you in this box.
Right.
For 24 hours, and you're not really going to have anything to eat, and you're going to have to shit in a hole in the ground. I'm like, yeah, this really, really, really makes me feel like I want to continue to live. Like, and it doesn't. And it's just so hard when, like, I understand why they do that. Like, I understand their thought process behind it. But it just really, ever since, made me feel as though I could not be honest about the way I was feeling with anybody.
For sure.
And it just kind of, when you create that stigma, like, internally, it sucks, and that's when it gets so much worse.
Yeah, I think psychologically, like one of the most important things you that one would hope you have for like good mental health is like a coherent narrative. You know what I mean? Like if you know your story and what's going on, and you can be like authentic and coherent about it, then it helps you know where you're at. But you can't do that if you're not allowed to tell anyone that this is how you feel. So then it starts to distort your own like inner narrative about where, like, how you really are moving about in the world and like where your place is. And it makes it really, really hard, because once you start to buy your own bullshit and like believe the lies you're telling yourself, that's when shit gets dark and you can go down really fast. So it's hard for folks in that place of severe depression, suicidal ideation. A lot of them just don't have people to talk to. And by people, I mean, even like friends and family, because like I was saying too, even like at least with substance abuse, it's like if your friend comes up to you and it's like, yo, I think I can't stop, I don't know what to do. your average person is kind of common knowledge. You know, at least you can go to AA meeting, dude, or you can look it up or whatever. But there's very little awareness, I feel like, in the general public about like how to help folks that have severe depression and suicidal ideation. It's sad, and I think the work that you guys are doing is great because it's a step in the direction of raising awareness, like at a group level, as it were.
Yeah, that's the goal.
We've been really lucky to start some partnerships with Hope for the Day. Make sure they have experts. Oh, he'll be back. There he comes. They've got experts. We can be your first step, but we will do our best to get you an expert if you need. But even just kind words from a friend or someone just to unload a little bit on. I know that sounds bad, but you can punish me. I'll be there. It's tough sometimes. And
no, that's huge. Getting it out is, like I said, it takes so much of the weight off it. If you can say those things out loud to another person, that sometimes they immediately lose at least a little bit of the power that they have over you. If you can externalize your thoughts, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I've kind of been thinking about that specifically a lot. And I think when I'm talking in my own head to myself, I think I talk faster. You know what I mean? And things just kind of reel out of control so much faster than they do if I just say something out loud to somebody else, because I'm not pausing. I'm not stopping. I'm not having to stop to even take a breath. And it's just so different when you can just say it out loud to anybody or in the mirror or whatever. It just makes such a huge difference. And I think especially in COVID times when we're not out and seeing our friends as much as we were, it's kind of harder to break the habit of just talking to yourself.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really, really hard because like, like scientifically, like the empirical data shows that like the two main things that help severely depressed people are unfortunately talking to another person and exercise, which are like the two hardest fucking things to do when you're depressed. That, you know, you don't feel like talking to anybody, and you certainly don't feel like lifting a bunch of weights or like going for a job. I mean, like, it's hard to motivate, but like those are the only two things they've ever been able to like scientifically prove that help depression is exercise and helping another person. So it's really, really hard. And I think that the social isolation piece is huge, especially you bring up a good point about COVID and stuff. I mean, we're just not meant to be alone, you know? We're supposed to co-regulate with other humans. And if we don't get to do that, it can get really scary and dark pretty fast.
Yeah.
And that goes to the heart of the question I just put up on the screen. Sid is asking, what are y'all doing? And I love that he used y'all. I grew up in the South, and I want to normalize y'all because y'all means all.
I didn't grow up in the South. I'm in New Mexico, which is very much not Texas. It's like absolutely, like, seriously, guys, has nothing to do with Texas. But I say y'all, and I started that a while ago because it was quick and it was gender neutral, and now people think I'm from Texas.
Yep.
But it's a good word. It's
a good word because it's gender neutral. My dogs are having a puppy pet. If you hear the barking, I'm sorry. Gender neutral and open to, and the whole campaign that the Southern Poverty Law Center put together was y'all means all, and it means everybody. There's no way to type it. You know, it's a cool one. But he wants to know what we're doing to help address the sense of disconnection and isolation related to depression and substance abuse in the COVID age. And I think that goes to the heart of everything we've been doing. And that's, we try to be here. We try to give you something to look forward to every week. If it's just us, or we can bring you someone like Chicken in that is, might be in a band that you've loved, but he's talking directly and letting you know he has struggles. Everybody has struggles. Everybody needs to reach out to somebody, and it helps destigmatize it. It is tough right now. We all are living a reality that we've never lived. I've never spent this much time at home in my adult life. It's really kind of, I'm used to being on the road 250, 300 days a year over the last 12 years. So, you know, through this, learning to reach out, learning to communicate, learning to ask when I need help. That's a big one. What else do you think we can say, Mackenzie, that we to the heart of Sid's question?
Yeah, I mean that I think that's a really great question. I think that's at least been my goal, especially this month, is just trying to drive home the fact that no one is alone in these feelings. And so that's why we're here. We're bringing guests on to talk about it as well. And just, it's totally normal and totally okay to feel like you're not okay. Something else that has been super important for me my entire life, and kind of goes straight to the core of our kind of values, is the thing that always kept me going was the music that I was listening to or the next band I was going to see live. And that's not something we have right now, but Dead to Me specifically is one of those bands that, like, there are so many lyrics that just ring, that like get stuck in my head when I'm feeling really low, and I just kind of like ring it through. Even like Tyson, your newer stuff that isn't new anymore, but you text me like, how do you feel about it? I'm like, this is really different. And I don't know. But those are the songs, like Fear is the New Bliss specifically. Like, I'm jamming that all the time on like bad days. Just like, so good, so powerful, super important. And I'm sure that there are other people out there who might not be okay if it weren't for like what you've done.
Well, I think it's not like, you know, you don't really think of that when you're sitting in your bedroom writing the song, but it's more like, I know the power that stuff has, because the same, like, I'm not sure, like a lot of people, it's super common. Like, I don't know if I would have gotten through high school without punk rock. Like, I don't, it would have been, I wouldn't have wanted to, you know what I mean? Like, it's so crazy. And like, yeah, the sense of like, the sense of being, the feeling of being seen, like someone sees me, you know what I mean? Like this person's lyrics and this person's way of expressing this emotion, like I feel seen for the first time, because I've had these thoughts and I've had these emotions before, but I thought maybe I was weird for having them or crazy for having them. And then you read them in someone else's lyrics and then you feel seen. And that's such a thing to feel seen. That's what we all want, right? So I appreciate the kind words, and I definitely value the power that music has, and art in general. You know what I mean? To allow people to feel seen. I think it is hard for people in COVID. I mean, personally, I've been social distancing for years. This is my get down. I like to stay home. I don't like to. This is my jam. I'm into it. But I know that it's really hard for people because they don't get to see loved ones. Like, that stuff sucks. Like, not getting to see my nephew much and my parents and stuff, because we can't, like, not being able to give people hugs is rough. You know what I mean? Like, when I see my friends, I just want to give them a hug, you know? I don't know, that's hard, but I think it's, you know, it comes down to us as individuals. Like, you just got to make the effort. You know what I mean? You gotta really try. And even when it's uncomfortable, I would encourage people to try, because it's you have to, man. You got to try. You don't get to complain about stuff if you're not trying, right?
That's fair. That's definitely fair. And I think it just all kind of goes back to, like, in the COVID age, like, we're extra alone. You know, we're extra alone. So for me, I go back to just that sort of instinctual, what do I do when I feel alone? And I find music that makes me feel less alone. And right now I'm more alone than ever. So it's a lot of Dead to Me, a lot of just bands like that I remember from back in high school. Like, I'm re-listening to stuff that were my first punk bands ever. Like, this is what got me through those days when I felt like this before. And so I don't have more advice really past that, but music just has been the answer to everything.
Yeah. I mean, I think just talking to people is huge. Like, because of all the reasons that we just listed, you know what I mean? About, like, being able to get something off your chest and being able to talk to other people about it. And also just this sense of, like, oh yeah, it's crazy for everybody else too. You know what I mean? Oh, if I do see a buddy I haven't seen in a while, and they tell me that they haven't, that they just feel weird, like it's a weird year, things are crazy. I'm like, yeah, I know. And then it's okay, that's right. Like, it's like that for everybody. So it's important to be reminded of that we're all kind of in it together, for lack of a better term. But it's important, you know what I mean? It's important to not feel alone and like you're the only one going through this thing, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Another thing that to Sid's question, the substance abuse during COVID. There are tons of online meetings, if that's your thing, if that's what helps you. I know people that are sober that Mackenzie's sober, and I've put her in touch with my friend Jonathan, and they've had some great talks. Just opening up and talking. And I'm a social drinker. That's about all I do. But if you have trouble with sobriety and you need someone to talk to, I'm willing to be there. I had the best. I think we've talked about it before, but I had the best talk with Chris Aiken on the Warped Tour a couple of years back, because Chris was celebrating being sober, and I didn't really know the whole story at that time, and I was standing there listening to him, and I was drinking a beer, and I literally went, "Hey man, I'm sorry," and he goes, "No, dude, if it's not a problem, you know." He goes, "If I had one, 10 minutes later, I might have a needle in my arm."
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate that you stood here and listened to me and talked to me about, about sobriety and and you're not a sober person per se. And I was like, wow, that's a revelation. That's pretty cool. If I can even be an ear there, that's pretty rad. And so I've listened to Mackenzie, I've listened to Jonathan, I've listened to Chris, I've watched Chris's story. He's 8 years sober now. He just posted the other night. That's
nice.
That's pretty. And here's a celebration for Katie Longren. If you know the Mahones, she's not in the band anymore right now, but she just celebrated her 8 years yesterday. So 8 years sober.
That's
right.
Yeah, my sober date was September too.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a lot of people are September, which is crazy. I think I just feel like there's some reason that it aligns with suicide awareness and prevention. Like so many people have like a sober day in November. And I do just want to bring up, like, there's a lot of the groups that I'm in. I keep seeing more and more new members recently. Just like quarantine almost killed me. Like, I was just doing whatever I wanted for 3 months, and now I think I'm in like some serious shit. And that's totally a fine way to be. Maybe you were totally fine pre-COVID and never had any problems, but then all of a sudden everything else that you have to do in your life is taken away, and the only thing you can think about is like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and drink or get high or whatever. And I also know a bunch of people who've reached out to me who don't drink a lot at all, who are just like, I don't know if I need this. I don't know if this is important to me anymore. I think that, it doesn't make me feel any better than I do. And it's just been kind of interesting. So there's a huge, huge surge of just the sober, curious movement. That is really important as well. And I think it's kind of like, and Chicken's laughing, I think it's really
sober
impressive.
Curious. I like that.
It's good. Yeah. It's good. I mean, there are different brands and different even bars who are now focusing more on their non-alcoholic offerings. And I think it's kind of cool just to kind of take the idea of nightlife or spending time with your friends away from being alcohol oriented. And there are ways that you can do that. If, I know we talk a lot about recovery this month, just because that and suicide have a very, very similar kind of like Venn diagram that meets at like rock bottom. But there are plenty of ways that, like, if you're not feeling good about yourself, maybe just make a change. Maybe just be like, okay, cool. I don't think I drink a lot, but I'm going to see how I feel if I don't. You don't have to like commit to it. You don't have to do any of that. A lot of us do need to commit to it, but it's not necessarily true for everybody. And you can destigmatize just taking care of how you feel without joining into that side of things too.
I think that's a strong point, is that it's, there are varying levels. If you need to dry out for 3 or 4 weeks, then do it. See how you feel. If it's something good, if you feel like you want a beer later on, then you have a beer later on. But you got to develop what's right for you, where either you can handle or you can't handle, or and be honest with yourself. That's where I think the first step, and I don't know, I haven't done it, Mackenzie, so or Chicken, you tell me, but the first step is just going, hey, I might have a problem. Is it just being honest with yourself? And
I think like that's something. It's a unique phenomenon to a global pandemic. Maybe that, like, people are stuck at home, and if they are isolated by themselves, they're up against themselves for what may be the first time, maybe ever, and so they are like reassessing things. Like, wait, what do I like? Why do I watch these shows? Why do I drink on Friday nights? Like, why do I do this? Like, there's been a lot of self-reflection going on this people, I think, in quarantine. And the way I've kind of noticed it playing out here is for most of my friends, they're going one of two ways. Like there's a lot of people that have been like used it to get super productive and get a bunch of stuff done that they had been wanting to get done for a long time, but maybe didn't have the time or, you know, lacked the motivation or whatever, but they used the quarantine time to really hustle and like put their head down and work, and like they're coming out the other end of it in a way better place. And then there's not a lot of in between. I've seen quite a few people go that way, and then I've seen quite a few people go the other way because, oh, I'm home alone now. I'm just wasted all day for the next 6 months, you know? So I've seen it go both ways, or not even with substance abuse, just people that like are not in a good place because they've been with themselves for the past many months, and it didn't work out well. You know what I mean? Not with themselves, it's hard, you know?
Yeah. I think too, with things reopening, at least my struggle was really, you know, I really, really tried hard to make sure I had a self-care routine that was there for me, that kept me motivated, that kept me going, that kept me making sure I was taking care of myself. And also, I let it be slow because I was trying to kill that time and be distracted. And then all of a sudden, things start to reopen. People are starting to feel a little bit more normal. Next thing I know, I'm going from 0 to 100 back from like working 0 hours a week to 50. And I don't have time for the self-care routine that I put in place. And now I'm like feeling once again like I'm on the verge of just like breaking down. And that's been what's my struggle is right now. But it's just like just trying to be introspective about it, just trying to check myself. And these PMA sessions have been really helpful, just like being a reminder, like, hey, like there certain ways are not the way.
Sure. It's hard. I wish there was, you know, if either of us three had the solution, we would gladly share it, right? But it's we're just trying to figure it out as we go, you know. And I think that's an important thing too, is giving your friends some space and your loved ones some space to kind of figure this stuff out, and you know, see that there are people going up and down, and like, you know, it depends on who you talk to. I have some family members that are doing great, some family members that aren't doing great, and it's like it's not what's true for one person certainly isn't true for everybody, you know. So it's a kind of a case by case scenario, and it's hard to show up. And also, like you said too, sometimes it can be hard to show up for other people, and then like you in the process of doing that, you can lose track of keeping showing up for yourself, right? So then you start to put other people first and their needs, and then you do that, and then that helps in the short term, but that's usually more of a band-aid, right? Like you've got to fix yourself before you can truly help others. And so it can be hard. People do distract themselves with helping other people. I have a lot of friends that are like the most amazing people, but like they're that help everybody, and they're always there for you no matter what, but their house is not in order. You know what I mean? It's a distraction tactic. You know what I mean? People like distract themselves by helping people sometimes, you know?
That's what I'm here. That has been my life, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, you said it best. There's no answer that anybody can give
Yeah.
you. But I think the most important, I think the reason for that is the important part is just attempting to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Just put that work in. Just make that attempt to figure it out for yourself, and you'll probably never find your black and white, you know, the meaning of life is 42 kind of answer. But as long as you're just focusing on it, that's what keeps in check.
Absolutely.
So what is it for you guys? Like, what at your lowest, like what inspired you to live another day? What inspired you to keep going to the next day or put that next foot forward?
I think ultimately, I mean, that's a hard one. It's a choice, right? Like, I believe living is a choice, and I believe healing is a choice, and I believe that, I mean, even positivity is a fucking choice at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But I choose to be positive, and like, if it's naive, it's naive. But I realize that it's a choice, but I'm making that choice because for me, it just the other end of that is despair, and I don't want to live a just life. You know what I mean? I want to live a happy life, and so I choose to try and be positive. And now that's not like meaning that I don't admit when things are wrong, or like it's not like being delusional. You know what I mean? It's a choice to apply positivity to the things I see around me in my life, because I don't know. I can't be on the other end of it. I mean, the things that kept me going when I was like in the darkest spots was like just thinking that like I'm not done. I'm not done doing what I was put here to do. I got to do more of it. So that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
That's partially why. I mean, it's hard to do, but I've got PMA tattooed on my arm.
Yeah, dude.
Almost everybody I know in
Aww.
RC. Put that back. Do you have the widget? Yep, I have one of those too.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Someday I'll have mine.
I think most of us in the punk rock scene that have adopted the PMA attitude have tattooed it on us somewhere, and yeah. I think it's a reminder. It's a really cool reminder. Speaking of PMA, we have a special guest that's just popping up, and he wanted to see chicks, so I'm going to bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nathan Maxwell.
Oh,
hey, Nate.
Hey, Fred.
Nathan.
Hi.
How are you, bud?
What's up, chicken? Haven't seen you in a minute, man.
You look awesome as usual. You haven't aged, man. How do you fucking do it?
It's all that PMA, man, you know, and not just fucking around. Go on though. Keep the compliments coming. That makes this whole thing worth it.
Look sharp as ever, my dude.
Oh, well, thanks, man. Yo, how y'all doing? What are you guys talking about right now?
Talking about being happy and how much we love you.
PMA, man. Like just how it's like, you know, it is a choice, but like, fuck it, that's my choice. You know what I mean? I know, like, I just don't want to be one of those people that's like nihilistic or whatever. That's not the world I choose to live. I choose to live in a world of positivity. So, I don't know. It gets hard sometimes, you know, but you do what you got, and staying positive is. I also think they'll prove typically eventually they'll get hard time.
Jesus. I'm sorry. What is going on with Walter?
I'm just having a fight.
Like there'll be hard science that it's like super healthy and beneficial to others and spreads love and all that shit. We just gotta wait for it.
Man, I love to hear it. You know, choosing positive, it is a choice, and you know, and I love to acknowledge the fact that you know sometimes people they need a little help with that, and like you know, and that's definitely acknowledged in this group. I think is wonderful. But personally, Chicken, I agree with you 100%. You know, if you do have the faculties to make that choice, it's so amazing sometimes how you just might find that is the difference. There's a difference maker, and that's where the power lies, you know. And there's so much of the punk rock culture and our music, our movement talks about that. It's like bringing the power back to where it belongs, and that is, you know, yes, it's individual, right? Because we only can control ourselves, but then collectively, when we all take the power back collectively, we can do things, we can change the world, and yeah, I couldn't agree more, brother. It's so wonderful to chime into this.
It's true. It's like it's like all like most profound truths, right? They're simple but not easy. It's a simple thing to be positive. You know, it's a kind of a simple concept like staying positive, but it certainly isn't easy. You know what I mean? But like I said, most profound things are like that. They're simple but not easy, and it's hard to keep a positive mind and have grace or be like grateful for things when you feel like you're getting shit on a little bit or like times are hard or whatever. But it's like, dude, even at the beginning of this call, it's like whatever I had in my head today about what was going on, and then you guys tell me like this dude's getting his leg back. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Like my shit's small. Like there's other people out there fighting real fights. You know what I mean? Like it's hard. Like perspective, and my point is that perspective and like perception are such a big thing in mental health. And they're really, really hard because when we have those blinders on of depression or like self-harm or whatever, we have those blinders on. It's really hard to see those other things, but they're so vastly important that I don't know. Your perception can really, really, really change a situation drastically. Just how you see it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's incredible, and having having people just open up and let that out there and be joyous. It's a
Yeah.
it's a wonderful thing. So
that too,
You know,
like
one thing like that someone taught me recently was, if you really go down, like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, really, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, that can get scary for you, right? But depending on maybe your perspective, experience, worldview, or whatever. But for me, that's an exercise that I like. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, I can lose my home. I can lose my life.
mm-hmm.
These type of things, and this might be really scary for some people, but in my opinion, like, none of those those things are the end of anything for me. So, and that's just my own personal beliefs, and they don't have to be anyone else's. But like, put things in perspective. What's sometimes what's the worst that can happen? Because so often I think we kind of stress over, man, the worst thing that can happen is it isn't what I want to happen. To happen. Like, shit, so what? You know what I mean? Like, you get a little adventure with your mix of life. That's kind of cool, right?
Most of my life has been things that I don't want to happen, but I'm still here.
Yeah, I mean, and it's hard to move in fear. Like, if you live a life navigating like from a place of fear, it's really hard to make correct decisions, and it's hard to really have an authentic and rich life. I feel like, if all your decisions are fear based, you're gonna miss out on a lot of things. So if you can do like you're saying, Nathan, and be like, yo, what's the worst gonna happen? Let's try this thing. Like, I mean, honestly, 100%, the best things in my life have happened from me being like, what's the worst that can happen? You know what I mean? Like, I started a punk band with Jack Dalrymple from fucking One Man Army, like the best singer in punk. And they're like, yeah, you're gonna sing. I'm like, I'm not singing, motherfucker. You're the singer. I'm not singing. And then they're like, dude, you just gotta sing. And I was like, all right. And then it was kind of like, well, fuck it, I guess. What's the worst? Like, we weren't even playing shows, we were just practicing. And then that whole thing turned in that having that like, well, what's the worst that can happen? Like, they're gonna laugh at me at band practice. Who gives a shit? They're my buddies. Like, it's fun. It's all good. Let's do it. And then that turned into like, the most amazing experiences of my life. So it's a real thing, like, to be able to have that, to make decisions from that place of like, of not fear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's, I think if any one of these little things sound to someone, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's like, it can say one love. I got one love tattooed across my collarbone right here. 20 years ago or so. It's part of what I say. It's part of what I believe in. It's part of, what I just, it's always resonated with me. So I try to resonate with it. And for some people, that might miss them. They might go, that's cheesy, or something I don't like, whatever. You can't worry about it. We find what resonates with you, and don't worry about it if it doesn't resonate with everyone, because it's not going to.
No.
Not one thing's going to resonate with everybody, and that's okay.
And I think it's important too to like, on that point, like, to manage your expectations. Or afraid to maybe talk to other people or get treatment or help for their depression or whatever it may be, because like they're attached to what they think the outcome is going to be or what the process is going to be. And like, it really is a process. Any type of like profound help is going to be a process. Any mental health help or substance abuse help, it's going to be your life's work, and it's going to be a long process, and it's going to be crunchy, be bumpy. There are going to be mistakes. It's not going to be perfect. But if you have that, if you have an expectation into it like that it's just going to be all shits and giggles and roses and everything's going to work out, you're probably going to be disappointed early on. So I think it is important to manage your expectations and be like, yeah, all right, how do I do this? Like, what's it going to look like? I'm giving myself the space to fail a little bit here. I'm giving myself the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to keep plugging away. I'm going to keep trying, but there's going to be bumps,
Chicken, can I say, man, like what you just said, manage your expectations. I think that on so many aspects of life is so important. On business, on relationships. I learned that actually from our brother, Bill Armstrong from Side One Dummy, who I world of. And I was doing a Bunny Gang record, and my expectations were like way up here, and, because that's what it's like as an artist, right?
Sure.
Like, man, I put my heart and soul into this, and he kind of like, it was sobering for me to hear him kind of give me that lesson when it came to even just a relationship between an artist and a record label, or really any relationship, be it professional or personal. And, I couldn't agree more. Manage your expectations. And that doesn't mean you need to bring your expectations down.
Right.
What it means is that you need to align your expectations with your partner's expectations for success, right? Because what the point is, like, if your expectations are, let's say, here and their expectations are here, even if you both hit them, you're not going to feel like it was successful, right? Both people are going to be unfulfilled. So that's super important. It's like there's no one way to do it. There's no one level of expectations that's the right level. It's just manage that. Understand that aspect of relationship. Understand that aspect of business. It's huge.
So,
yeah. And I'm going to say one more thing, and I'm going to bounce because I'm with my family right now, if that's okay.
Of course.
I'm so proud of the punk rock community because, I've been in it my whole life. I've been lucky enough to discover it and embrace it and be embraced by it. And the one thing I've learned in my little world of discovery with art and music and life is that really it's about consciousness, if that makes sense. It's about being more aware, being your best self. And I'm so grateful that the punk rock community has always represented that to me. And like these talks are a great shining example that the punk rock community is vibrant, it's alive, it matters. And so thank you guys.
That's really awesome. That's so true. It makes me want to be punk rock makes me want to be a better person. Like that's, that's a real fucking thing. And so I'm glad you mentioned that. You rule, dude.
Yeah. Thanks, Nathan. Always good to see you.
Likewise, up the punk.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like a perfect place to hit where we kind of wrap it up every month and or week, excuse me, and we're wrapping up a month tonight too. Every week, Chick and I ask our guest and our panel
I didn't
members,
warn you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you didn't warn him. Oh.
I didn't warn him.
Well, we warned.
You look terrified. It's not that bad.
Every week you ask your guest to rap.
No.
Yeah,
throw
down some Rapper's Delight. No, I'm just kidding. But if you could name off a book or some CDs or a band or a podcast or something that you've been listening to that's helped your state through this, that might help someone to go check out. So I'll throw you in the spot first, or I could ask Mackenzie and give you a second to think about it. One of the two.
No.
All right. Okay. I've got a couple of bands. On the topic of listening to something that makes you feel less alone and super relatable. I think I brought this up before. Off With Their Heads. They put out a lot of really, really depressing lyrics that feel like I wrote them myself sometimes. So that's definitely been one of those things that kind of gets me through, reminds me that, if you're not the only one who's felt it, then it's a normal thing to feel. It's kind of my sort of mantra on that one. But also, just on the topic of bands that have gotten me through some shit, of course, Dead to Me is there. You guys were on one of my, probably actually the first punk rock compilation disc I ever picked up is what I discovered Dead to Me on. We've had that conversation before, and that just seriously changed my life. And through that, there are a couple other bands. Both these bands are from Florida that I want to bring up that have helped me through some stuff. For those of you who don't know, Tyson also used to be in a band called Western Addiction. That's not who I'm talking about, but feel free to check them out if you haven't. But Western Addiction had a split with a band called New Mexican Disaster Squad that is amazing. I don't think they ever took off as much as they should have. They're definitely not around anymore, but go find them, listen to Tightrope. Super, super just sick track. They're not from New Mexico. They are from Florida. I used to yell at them on MySpace about it, and that ages the shit out of me. They never played here. And also another band that also just has some super posy lyrics and just stuff to get you through the next day. My friend who died had a band called We Still Dream. They're not around anymore either, but probably the first band that I ever really started booking consistently. They meant the world to me, and Mike meant the world to me. So go check them out, give them a listen, brighten your day with some super fun pop punk. And I'll see y'all next week.
You know that the guy from New Mexican's in Dead to Me, or was in Dead to Me, right?
Damn, yeah, right?
Just making sure.
Was that just for one, was that 2 tours? Or more than that?
On the Moscow Piniani record and 4 or 5 tours.
Nice.
New Mexican fucking rules. I love that band so much.
They were so good. And I think it's probably through your guys' MySpace that I found them. I don't know. But I was obsessed with them for a while. They never played in New Mexico, and it's bullshit that they call themselves the New Mexican Disaster Squad. But that's
some old I'm like 99% sure I have an old shirt. I'll set one aside for you. I have
yeah.
merch if
I
you
would
want.
love that. I would love that.
Yeah, I think if I was gonna name any, I'm reading a book called Revolt of the Angels. That's really, really good. It's about the angels trying to lead a second revolt against God to take over heaven. It's really good. It's not a book; it's a satanic book, but it's really good. And then other than that, I don't listen to. I'm just so not trying to be that cliche guy, but I don't listen to a lot. I like listening to the music that I write, so I'm listening to my music, not Dead to Me records, but music that I'm writing. Yeah.
What are you writing? Can we get like a sneak peek?
Absolutely.
Serious.
But the only reason I brought that up is because just how beneficial being creative has been for me through all that stuff, substance abuse, depression, like mental health, all those things. I think all of us innately have a creative spark inside of us, and it just it needs to be fostered, and it can come out in different ways. For me, I was lucky it was music. There's other people that can do it with writing, painting, taking pictures, hosting live podcasts, like whatever it is. Being creative is like, it's such a big fucking help, and that's really, really, really helped me. So I highly recommend that if there's anyone out there watching this, that even if you don't consider yourself a creative type, like fuck that, get a pencil, start drawing some shit, like whatever, try some different shit out, and try being creative, and you never know what'll happen. But I highly recommend it.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
I'll second that. There's a lot of creativeness through this, and I can't wait to watch all of the albums, the digitals, the videos, everything that's going to come out of this, because all of our favorite artists and all of even us becoming new artists, there's a lot that people are trying right now, and I can't wait to see it all. It's going to be great. My picks for the week, Saturday night is the 3rd, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Our brothers in Anti-Flag have their documentary. It's coming out, and you can get on and watch it. So go to their website. Please watch the premiere of their documentary. I won't get to, unfortunately. I will be in the studio, which is a good trade-off, because
I'll be working.
I'm finally going to become I'm going to put something else out in the world. I haven't put anything recorded in the world since 1995. So I'm excited to put something out with my brothers and sisters in these roving years. So we're going to record it in Vegas for 2 days. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
And so if you guys if you're not the biggest punk fan and you really want to know more about different crazy fun genres of punk, I know it's a big corporation, but this is a pet project on that big corporation. iHeartRadio, if you download the app on your phone, there is a station called Punk Tacos, and it literally plays punk 24 hours a day, and it's different kinds of punk. It can go anywhere from stuff that I hate that's not punk thing that people say, but it goes anywhere from Paramore to Crass. So everything, and you can get a taste of things. It's a pet project of one of the major DJs in Denver, and they launched a station playing music that they want to play. There's no commercials on it, unless your iHeartRadio app sticks them in there. But it gets me across the country a lot when I'm driving around. And luckily here in Denver, I can pick it up on my radio, but on the road, I have to use that app. But please check that out. I don't get anything from those guys. They've never mentioned Punk Rock Saves Lives, but it's a cool way to hear a bunch of different punk. And if you like a genre of a band, look them up and see who they're compared to. Go learn more. It's kind of like when I was young, how I found 90% of my bands was, if I liked a band, I read the liner notes and if they thanked a band or something, I went and checked out that band.
Always.
I just checked out the top 8 friends of bands I liked on MySpace, and then like it was like a spider web from there.
MySpace.
And kids don't have that anymore, man.
MySpace. That's the theme of tonight. Is MySpace.
I miss it. I know. I was like, God, I've been thinking about that a lot today.
It was infinitely better for music. I will say that.
How do you think me and my dude feel, Lindsay, when you're like, yo, when I was a kid, we had to look at the MySpace friends. That makes us feel fucking ancient. Because
I know.
I'm ancient.
You're not even that much older than me, Jake. Calm down.
I'm a 42-year-old man. I had to look at.
Are you serious?
You're a baby.
Oh shit! I don't think you ever told me your age. Damn.
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
Well, you still look like you're 29.
I also wanted to say super quick that Kinsey does have my contact info. So like if anybody out there needs an ear for sobriety or whatever, that's my specialty. So as in I have the most experience talking about it. I don't mean personally it's my specialty. But
he is actually probably one of the first people I called when I was like, I gotta figure this shit out, guys. So that chicken, honestly, you mean the world to me.
Strong. Listeners know I'm happy to talk to whoever, whenever, if they need an action, if they're having a hard time finding help or whatever. I'm happy.
That's awesome. I close it every week by saying that we are here. I am here. My phone number is readily available on my Facebook page, on the website, on probably on Punk Rock Saves Lives. I think it's there. Yep. I'm easy to find. Call me if you need me. I will at least do the initial whatever. And then if I need to get you to someone, I promise one of us will find someone that can help you through what you're suffering, be it addiction, be it depression, be it doubt, anything. We're here. We want to keep this community rolling. We love you. I want to totally thank Chicken and Mackenzie, and it's opened me up to Dead to Me this week. So I'm absolutely stoked.
Yeah, and, Rob, I'm like seriously concerned. So I'm gonna send you like a mixtape of all the things that got me into punk rock because I don't know if you know any of it. So I'm gonna.
Nice.
Now I'm just worried.
Nice. Nah, but
no, you know lots.
I know so much. Band. I know so much, but I always want to know more. It's
Well, I learned about, you showed me the Boll Weevils.
Nope. Music is my life, and I love it, and I want to do more. I always want to know more. I am that idiot that can tell you who produced an album in 1993. You know what I mean? I'm not Damien from Fucked Up when it comes to like super fandom.
No one is. Dude.
No, but I try to be a little bit of a Punisher. Nothing like him. But he's amazing. I once again listen to the Turned Out a Punk podcast. His podcast is insanely good.
It's really well done.
Other than that, I always end every week by thanking our guest. Thank you so much, Chicken. We love it, man.
Yeah, so much
we're going to have you on more stuff. If you want to be there, you're welcome anytime.
You guys fucking rule for doing this. And it's really, really, really cool work. And that's the thing, right? Like most the real gig stuff is you just got to show up. And you guys are doing it. You guys are showing up. And that's really, really appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you.
And what I've learned, and I say it every week, thank you, Mackenzie. I love you. I love everybody out there. It's not wrong to tell your, let me say it right, platonic.
There you go.
Platonic
Yes.
friends, you love them. Men, one of my big stressors is it's okay not to be okay and talk. We were brought up to rub dirt on.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Talk.
Yeah. Let it out there. And one love, as Nathan says, one love, up the punks.
Hell yeah.
My friends.
All right.
Have a great night. Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
I don't know how to